What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Final Fantasy 14. We're just going to jump into it real quick here today with a little bit of commentary video on a current situation that's going on within the game, mainly involving player housing. Player housing is, for some reason, a huge issue in Final Fantasy 14, which is very surprising given that it is kind of a modern day MMO. And player housing has been something that's been in MMOs for a very long time, but for some reason they keep having issues with it in this game. And mainly I think it's because of the unique nature of player housing in this game. We're actually going to go to one of the player housing areas here and kind of just take a look around to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, because if you don't play Final Fantasy 14, you may not be familiar with this type of player housing. Basically, how they have it in this game is just like in the real world. They do have neighborhoods that you can go to. They have housing plots, and people are able to buy houses and then decorate them and customize them however you want. You're going to see some pretty cool and unique designs when we go over here. There's a lot of Easter themed stuff still going on in the game, so you're going to see a lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of a neat thing, and one of the really cool things about this game is there's a lot of stuff that you can do that just like real life. You know, you want to go to a nightclub and hang out instead of doing your quest. If you want to go and just go fishing or something like that, there's a lot of cool things that you can immerse yourself into the game in that fashion. The problem is that this is not available to everyone, and the housing market in this game is pretty much just as competitive as the housing market is in real life today. It's nearly impossible to get your own house. They had all kinds of debacles with this going back to when it was first introduced. I've heard horror stories about the original process where people were literally waiting 24/7 outside the auction area or paying other players to wait for them so they could go to bed and make sure they would still get a house. So they've just had problem after problem after problem. Well, with the new patch that just came out, they decided, you know, they were going to open up a brand new housing area in the Ishgard zone and basically open this up so that people could come in and finally be able to get a house. Now, unfortunately, they still managed to screw that up, mainly by offering the majority of the housing plots to the free companies, which are basically the guilds. In this game, some of the houses you'll go into will be guild houses, where they all got together and got their own place. But a lot of them are also single player housing, and if they have it public, you can just go through the neighborhood, walk up to their front door and go right in their house and check it out, which you're going to see us do here a couple of times in the video in the background. But it's just crazy. So first off, they kind of messed up by offering the free companies most of the new housing plots when they know there's a ton of, you know, solo players who just want their own house in the game, because it's just a cool feature to have. It's something that a lot of other games have offered for a long time. If you come from any other MMO, you're probably familiar with that. And then to make matters worse, they actually screwed up something in the patch. Not sure if it was the coding within the game. They seem to have a lot of issues in this game with the code, since this game is pretty old and it has been out for 11 or 12 years now. But what happened was basically none of the auction results that they had for this patch went through. So if you thought you won a house, you didn't actually get it. It registered a lot of the bids as zeros, so it didn't really count anyone bidding on it. But apparently there's a big Reddit thread on it. They had to finally combine it into one big mega thread to kind of appease everyone so they could go there for information. They've apparently found a fix for it. They're going to change it. It's going to take them a couple of weeks, so people are going to have to wait even longer now. There's even some data centers in the game that still have not received any form of player housing. Data center is basically like the server. You can go back and forth between different servers in the game. So there's some servers that don't even have this basic housing zone we're in. They don't have anything at all. And now, you know, they're still waiting on that. And in addition, now they're going to have more problems as, you know, Square Enix tries to figure out what they're going to do to ultimately fix this. So it's probably going to just, in a couple of weeks, they're going to, I guess, do another patch in the game, do some maintenance, and then it's going to hopefully give the people that thought they won a house their house. But it still doesn't address the overall problem in that there's just not enough player housing in the game. And I think the issue is, again, because of this unique way they do it, where it's just this public open space. You can just go to it, walk around, check out all these different neighborhoods and people's houses. But every single game that I've ever played, the MMOs that I have extensive experience with, which would be City of Heroes, Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Trek Online, are probably the big three that I've played the most. you had some form of player instance housing, which allowed every single player to have their own customizable space that they could share and show off to other people. They could invite their friends into, they could invite their guild mates into, and it was open to everybody. You didn't have to worry about any type of restriction. There was no limit on it, and it was really kind of a cool feature. You know, City of Heroes, you had your supergroup base where everybody could contribute and kind of build it the way you wanted to, and there were all these different designs you could. It was pretty basic because it came out, let's be honest, back in like 2002, 2003, so it wasn't super detailed. And the graphics, of course, from back then aren't amazing, but you still at least had some way to create your own space if you wanted to have like your own housing area and invite everybody into it. You even had some game functionality where you could teleport to other areas of the game. Star Trek Online, you could actually customize your starship. So let's say you were using a Galaxy class starship from the Next Generation. You could actually go in and customize your bridge, customize your layout. You could put different decorations up on the wall in your captain's room. You could change the layout of engineering. You could change the layout of like the bar area and basically make the whole ship look different so that it didn't look like someone else's. And then you could actually just go into your ship instance, explore your ship, walk all around, invite your friends and to come check out your ship. You could go check out their ship. So you had that unique kind of perspective there. And then you have Star Wars: The Old Republic, which honestly I think did it the best. They basically just gave every player their own free housing space, and they were in different zones throughout the galaxy. You had some if you were on the Empire side, you had others if you're on the Republic side. There were some in a neutral area of Nar Shaddaa, which is like the casino moon, where you could basically just customize your thing, like make it look like Las Vegas. So a lot of cool things that they did in that game. And then you could basically just go to the auction house and bid on decorations. You could get decorations through in-game achievements. They had them inside the premium currency shop. So all kinds of different ways you could go in and have your own customizable space. And again, no limits whatsoever on any of it. So all these other MMOs have used this model very successfully, which is why I'm just baffled that Final Fantasy XIV hasn't found a way to actually implement this in 2022. It's kind of ridiculous they're still having this problem. So I really think they need to explore a way to bring player instance housing into the game so everybody can have their own spot, their own house. They'll have their ability to get their own decorations from wherever they're going to get them from, bring them in, and just create their own thing that they can share with everybody else. So I think it's just kind of ridiculous that they have this issue again in such a modern day for an MMO. It seems kind of weird when games over 10, 20 years ago had this feature in it without any problem, and it didn't cause any issues within the community because everybody had access to it. Whereas now with what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV with the housing situation, you have a lot of people that are feeling left out. They feel like it's unfair, and it creates a bit of a disgruntled portion of the community in what is otherwise a fairly laid back and non-toxic community. So it's unfortunate to see. Hopefully they'll get the issue figured out soon, but I really think they should just go to a specific player instance housing model so everyone can take part, everyone can participate, and just have their own place to show off. So I think that would be kind of cool. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below, especially if you do play Final Fantasy XIV. Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.